Welcome back to our superpower series. If you remember from the last two videos, we're doing flying. In video 1, we kind of got everything set up. We did single-fisted flying. Video 2, we went even faster with double-fisted flying. Now what we're going to take a look at is we still need to decide what we're going to do when we disable flying. So we'll learn how to do that. We're basically going to make sure we're upright and then lower ourselves to the ground. And then we're also going to look at doing a barrel roll by twisting our fists. And if there's time, we'll add some special effects to our double-fisted flying. So let's jump right in. Oh, don't forget to take a look. I'm giving away the Oculus Touch Playmaker Toolkit integration thingy. It's for $15 value, so check out the contest in the description if it's still going on, if you're interested in winning that asset from the Unity Asset Store. Okay, now let's jump right in. Let's take a look at our disable, because if you remember, whenever I disabled it, you couldn't see anything. You just had to take my word that I was pushing the joystick. There wasn't anything telling you that I was disabling the flying. So let's take a look at how we can make this state a bit better. So, there's an action in the ecosystem called get negative rotation. This is not in Playmaker by default, but it's free. You can get it from the ecosystem. So you have the ecosystem installed. It should be in your add-ons ecosystem browser. If it's not, you go to the welcome screen, and you'll get the welcome screen, and you can click on add-ons, and it'll take you to the page to download the ecosystem. But we want to get negative rotation because we're going to be interpolating between some rotation flows. And if we use just regular get rotation, it doesn't like it when you're going to 0 or less than 0. It hates it. So get negative rotation is a must. Otherwise, everything goes janky. All right, so we're going to get negative rotation of the owner. And then we're going to, and you don't even know why we're getting this yet. You don't even know why we're getting this yet. So let's not do that. Let's jump ahead. We'll come back to the disable flying state. So there's another FSM I want to add, and that is flight rotation. Because one thing when I'm flying, you want to be able to do a barrel roll. So we're going to add another FSM, Playmaker here, Playmaker FSM, and we'll just call this flight rotation. All right, and let's click edit to edit this. And our first state I'm going to put here in the middle, and you'll see why, because I'm going to put stuff on the left and on the right. And this first state is just going to wonder, is it right or left hand? If we're double fisting it, I'm not even going to worry about rotation. If we're double fisting it, it's going to be straight only, because that's turbo boost. No turning allowed. I mean, there'll be a little bit of turning, like you can turn by doing this, but we won't do any rotation. I'm not going to worry about that, because I just don't feel like it's needed. So we need to get FSM bool on the owner, fist checker. We need to know which fist we're doing. So let's check for fist left, and we'll call this fist left. And copy paste that, and we'll check for fist right, and we'll store this as fist right. And then we'll do a bool test. So if fist left is true, then it's left. But if it's not true, it's right. But let's just do one more bool test, just to be safe. We'll check for fist right. Store this as we're already getting fist right. So if fist right is true, then we'll call that right. So let's go to the right, just because I'm right-handed. So control, click, drag, let go, and we got our next state here. So we need to determine the angle of the fist, so we know if we're going to bank left or bank right. So, Philip, didn't we just do that? No, we're just checking the fist. The first thing, all we've done now is check which one of our fists is a fist. Now we need to determine if we're going to bank left or bank right based on the rotation of that fist. So I'm just going to call this state right fist. And we are going to get rotation. I don't need negative rotation on this one. We're going to get rotation. And we need to specify. So this is going to be our right-hand anchor because we're on the right fist. And I only want the Z angle rotation. Because when you hold the fist like this, and I did all these checks before on my own, so you don't have to. But if I have my Quest controller, not that one. If I have my Quest controller and I hold it like this, Z is still this way, okay? Because Z is coming out of the front of the controller. Now, this isn't 0Z. I'm already rotated. But I've already calculated what this is, and I figured out a window I'm going to check for. So we're going to be checking for something like that for a left bank, and then we're going to do something like that for a right bank. So we're checking the Z rotation, and I'll just call this controller rotation. And we want to do it in self-space every frame. And so now we'll just have a float switch. All right, these I kind of sometimes avoid because it's kind of hard to get your head wrapped around. But the way the float switch works is it's going to check the first. You want to start smallest numbers to the biggest numbers. We'll see if I'm right. All right, well, let's just go through this. So I need 3 float switches. The float we're checking is controller rotation. So if it's, we're going to start on the biggest number. So if it's less than 360, we're going to bank left. Any number less than 360, we're going to bank left. Let's check this every frame. Unless that number is less than 130, then we'll do nothing. All right, so between 360 and like 130, we're banking left. Anything less than 130, we're not doing anything because we're kind of putting a little window in there where we're not banking. And then anything less than 50, so between 130 and 150, nothing's happening. And then past 150, we'll do our bank right. All right, so let's, we got our right fist. Let's do bank right first. And let's just break these up by color. I'm going to make this one yellow. So we're going to rotate. We're going to rotate the owner because, again, all of these FSMs are all still on the player. So the player is what we're making change to. And I want to rotate the player minus 15 degrees because I'm banking right. Now, that might not make sense to you. Why minus? Well, if we look at our player over here, okay, there's its z-axis. So if I go to my z-axis and I rotate negative, okay, I'm actually tilting my head to the right. So you would think it would be a positive, but no, if we're tilting our head to the right, we're actually rotating the player negative on the Z. I know, it's a little bit confusing. So we're going negative 15 degrees on the Z. And let's just do that for later on. And we're going to do this in self-space per second every frame. If you uncheck per second, you're just going to be going every frame. So we want to do 15 degrees every second. All right? And then that's it. That's how we bank right. But we can't just stay in that state forever, so we need a way to get out of that state. So we're going to then get rotation again and do our float switch, Control-C to copy, and then paste action. So now, if it's less than 50, we're not going to do anything because this is the state we want to be in. And if it's in the 130 mark, we're going to go back to the right fist to check. So I'm just going to call this, I don't know, straight. And then we'll still check for bank left. So boom, boom. If we're going straight, we'll go back to right fist. Otherwise, we're going to go to bank left, which we haven't done yet. So let's just copy the bank right and paste. And let's make this one orange. And we're going to call this bank left. All right, so instead of negative 15, you guessed it, we're going to do a positive 15. We're still checking the same hand. But now we're going to go to bank right if it's less than 50, do nothing if it's less than 360, and we're going to keep straight. So let's delete bank left, and let's add bank right. So if we bank right, we're going to go there. Most likely, though, both of these would hit the straight event before they would hit the other one anyways. So they're probably almost always going to come back here first. But here we are. We have the straight event on both going back here to right fist. And just to make this less confusing, oh, come on, right fist, parentheses, straight. All right, there we have. We have our bank right and our bank left for our right fist. Why aren't you happy? Oh, because my bank left's got to go to my bank left. There we go. All right, so now we got to do the same thing for the left fist if we are using our left fist to fly. So let's just copy all those. Come over here and paste them. All right, so we have to kind of invert this if we want it to look the same. All right, let's move it over a little bit more. All right, so we're going to call this left fist, straight. Don't need that too, but we want to put our left hand anchor in there. And I think these floats aren't going to work for us because the left hand's going to be a bit different. We'll test and find out. I'll go ahead and take this left into here. Oh, I didn't save. Left fist straight. Enter. This one's still going to be bank left. But we need to be testing the left hand anchor here. And then this one's going to be bank right. And we need to test the left hand anchor there. Okay. So far, we have our super movement toggle FSM. All right, when we hit the joystick, we're going to hover. And then we're going to check if there's a fist. If there's a fist, we're going to start flying in that direction. We can also rotate based on the flight rotation FSM. Also, we have our FSM that's checking for a fist. And then if we are double-fisted flying, I'm going to ignore the flight rotation. In fact, I'm going to uncheck flight rotation, and I'm only going to enable it when I'm flying with right or flying with left, which I need to rename that. Flying with left. So we're going to, we'll start with this one. I'm surprised I didn't already have that in there. But Action Browser, enable FSM. So come in here. So if we're flying with our right fist, we're going to enable the flight rotation FSM. And we want to reset it whenever I exit. And I'll copy that and I will paste it to the top of this one. All right, because the reason I'm doing this is when I'm doing double fists, when I'm doing double-fisted flying, I just wanted it to be turbo mode, no barrel rolls, and I'm going turbo mode. Mostly because I don't want it to calculate those rotations. I mean, I'm sure I could take those rotations and then average them out, but I just didn't feel like messing with it. I didn't think it was necessary. Should we test this? Let's test this. We still haven't figured out disabled flying yet. We'll do that in a little bit. Joystick, I am now hovering. And fist, I am flying. And double fist, yes! There we go! Super speed! Woo! Woo! Yes, that's epic! Yeah, it's really hard to turn around when I'm wired in, and I'm never going to be able to return. Yeah, this is pretty dang fun. Even though I'm sitting down. Alright. Oh, let's check our barrel roll, right? So super duper, and then one-handed, and then barrel roll. It's a slow roll, and it's kind of hard to... It's hard to have a forward direction while I'm doing it, but... Ooh, why? Oh, I must be running into something there. All right, and so now we can go back. Woo, that's nauseating. All right, barrel roll. Whew, okay, let's try it with the left hand. Oh boy. Yeah, see, I can't even fly with just the left hand because my angles are all jacked up. There we go, that's straight. If I go, so I got to reverse. I'm not sure what I have to do because I got to Spider-Man it to fly straight. Everything is exactly, what, 180 degrees wrong? So what does that mean? Do we need to subtract 180? Do we add 180? Does it matter if we subtract or add? Let's go find out. We need to make these variables. I'm going to call this left hand bank right float. Left hand fly straight float. Oh no! Undo. 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 Okay. What did I just undo? Left hand bank right float. This is going to be left hand fly straight float. Dang it. Fly straight float. Correct that. Deleted. There we go. State. And then this is going to be left hand, bank left float. Okay, so now if I cut that float switch, if I come here, make this the left hand bank right float, make this the left hand fly straight float, and make this the left hand bank right float. Oh! No, this should be bank left float. Bank left float. We do nothing. Right. So up here, we're going to do, this is the bank right float. This is the straight float. I have some numbers. Let's see how it works. So, variables. Where's my sticky note? So if it's our straight float, if it's less than minus 60, we're going to go straight. Our bank right float, if it's less than minus 130, we're going to bank right. And then if it's less than 0, we're going to bank left. Those numbers seem really weird, but those are the numbers that I seem to have come up with. So, straight. If it's, we need our biggest number here because we're dealing with negatives. Our biggest number is 0. If it's less than 0, we're going to bank left. Then our next smallest number is minus 60. So if it's less than minus 60, we're going to stay straight. And then if it's less than minus 130, we're going to bank right. Let's see what happens. Okay. Fist. There we go. There we go. Okay, so left. Right. Nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? All right. Bring that up. Player. For fist. It's getting the rotation of the left-hand anchor, but it's saying this is where we need to get negative rotation. I think that's our issue. Let's try that. So let's delete that. Let's get negative rotation. Where's my actions panel? Get negative rotation. So this is available in the ecosystem. Did I tell you about the ecosystem yet? If you don't have it, go to Playmaker, welcome screen, go to the add-ons, get the ecosystem. If you have it, Playmaker, add-ons, ecosystem browser, search get negative rotation. And we want to get negative rotation on the left-hand anchor. What angle are we wanting to get? Z, okay. And Z, we're going to do that as controller rotation, get it every frame. And we need to do that on all of them. So copy here, get rotation, delete, paste action before, here, delete, right click, paste action before. Fist. Okay, now it's okay. All right, rotate left, boom. Rotate right. It's not great. But proof of concept, left, right, boom, double fisted. All right, cool. So we got our rotations figured out. Now all that's left is what's going to happen when we go to our super movement toggle and we disable flying, because we could be rotated upside down and we don't want to just follow the floor on our head. So how do we do this? Okay, so in our disable flying state, let's add some actions. So we're going to get negative rotation for this one, just like we did for our controller. Except for this time we're getting it on the owner, our player, right? Because that's where our controller is. And we want to get our Z rotation. We're going to get it every frame. And then we're going to float interpolate. We're going to float interpolate. We're going to ease in and out. And we're going to float interpolate from our Z rotation, where our current Z rotation is, to, and anytime you're rotating something and you're float interpolating, like I mentioned before, I think, it doesn't like zeros. So that's one reason to use get negative rotation anytime you're going across the zero. But also when you're interpolating, don't interpolate to zero. Interpolate to a number close to zero. So I'm going to go 0.00001. Maybe too many zeros. Not that it really matters. All right, and then the time, 1 second was a bit too fast, so I'm going 1.5. And we're going to store this as interfloat. Looks like we're using it elsewhere. We'll use it again. And let's do it in... if we finish, we need to finish. Then we'll go back to the end. And now we need to set the rotation of our player. And our z-axis we need to set to our interfloat. And we're doing worlds or self space every frame until the interpolation's done. And then the finished state will happen, or the finished event will happen. All right, let's see how cool this looks. So let's just toggle up, toggle it. I don't have it set to lower me yet. Why don't I have it set to lower me yet? Oh well. Let's fly. I'm not on. There we go. Let's fly. Boom. Woo. All right. Let's bank. Don't really need that hand. Oh, I rotated too far. If I rotate too far, it stops rotating. All right, so here I'm rotating, and it stopped again. All right, but now, look at the horizon. I'm going to hit the toggle button, and it puts me upright again. All right, so one last thing. Maybe we'll do two more things. We need to get back on the ground, which I haven't figured this part out yet, so we're going to do it right now. So we've changed our rotation, but we also need to figure out how to get on the ground. So this first state, disable flying state, we're just going to make this fix rotation. All right, so we're fixing the rotation in this disable flying state. We're going to control click, create a new one, and this is going to be another disable flying, but we're going to fix position. It's not really that it's broken, but that's just what I'm going to do. So what I want to do is I want to raycast down. Okay, so I'm already back up right. I'm straight up and down. That's important. That's why I'm doing this in separate states. Move. Controller move isn't going to work for us, is it? Could. Oh! Ha! So we don't even need a raycast. What we can do instead is controller move -1, so straight down in our self space, or world space really even. Yeah, let's do world space. We're going to move -1 a second. With that vector, is that going to be pointed towards the origin of the world? I don't think so. Until we have controller. Can I do add transition, system event, controller collider hit? So this is going to move me down in world space -1 every second until my collider hits something. I don't know if it's going to work because I've never used a system transition in this way. All right, so let's see. This will be exciting if this works. All right, so I'm not going to move this down as much because I want to be able to see what's going on there. Okay, so if I just do this, I'm now hovering, and then if I toggle again, what's it doing? It moved me, but it did not move. Oh, it moved me Z. Oh, I'm so silly. Why Z? That's so wrong. Were y'all laughing when I did that? We want it to be -1Y. All right, let's change our position because it's getting my views offset. Great. All right, I'm up in the air, and I'm down. Yeah. So I'm up in the air. Fly up. Okay, I'm up. It fixed my rotation. Why did it take so long to fix my rotation? And it's bringing me back down to the ground. It's kind of a nice superhero speed, but I kind of want to go even faster. Oh, dropping my controllers. So it's awesome that this works, though. Let's do -1.5. 0.5. Let's try this again. Man, why does it seem like that rotation interpolate is taking forever? Oh, because I'm telling it to fix the rotation in 1.5 seconds. But if my rotation's not weird, there's nothing to fix. So maybe I should start falling first, then fix my rotation? I don't know. It could really just depend on the feel for your game. So that's why it's doing that. But anywho, let's fly. And we're up in the air. And let's fall. 1.5, and then I'm falling. I feel like that's total superhero speed. Excellent. One more thing I want to do. I'm not going to take the time, I don't think, to completely build it. I think I'm just going to steal it. So maybe I will just create it live then. So when we go double-fisted speed, I want some type of visual. So I'm going to go to my player, and I am going to right-click. I'm going to go to, effects, and then particle system. Okay, so here's the particle system. I want to change I want to turn on trails. My trails needs a material, which I believe I have. Oh, you know what? I think what I did last time is there's already a particle system material. Oh, in my renderer, I have to add, yeah, we're just going to set it for default particle system. Default particle system. There we go. So there's some trails. And my actual particle itself, how did I fix that? Oh, maximum particle size. I'm just making that nil because I don't want particle size. And then I want to, first off, what is my rotation on this thing? Oh, it's because we're on a cone. All right, first off, let's get my particle system, and I want it to be more along where the camera is. And let's do, I wanted a box. I preferred a box. Whoops, shape. We're going to do a box. I want to emit from the edge. Trails, width over trail. Do that, and then let's lower our lifetime a bit. Nice. Except they're going the wrong way. So rotate 180 on the Y. And push it out like that. Let's make our height exactly what our camera should be, which is 1.8. Lifetime is a bit too long still based on where I'm putting it. So we can lower the lifetime still of the trails. Really of the particles too. Because even though we don't see the particles, we don't need them lasting that long, right? Like what if I made this duration 1? Okay, so the particles are doing jack. There we go. Let's step back to 1 because that's how it's looping, I think. And start lifetime. Let's bring that down a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll look cool. So, what are we doing with this particle system? We're disabling it. All right, so I'm just going to disable my particle system. I'm going to go back to my player. And I'm going to go to Playmaker and double-fisted flying. We're going to do activate game object. And we're just going to put it like right there. And we're going to specify the game object. And it's going to be our particle system. We're going to activate it, and we're going to reset it on exit, which means it'll deactivate when we're no longer in the state. Oh, I just remembered one more thing. Because this is VR, we don't want our particle system to be as a child of the player. We want our particle system to be a child of our center eye anchor. Otherwise, when we turn our head around, we won't see the effect anymore. So back into it. All right, so toggle the hover, look up and away, fist, and let's look right there and double fist. Okay, the particles aren't great. I need to make them longer, I think, but you can kind of get the idea about you can add some particles to make the flying seem even faster. Very, very cool. It looks like snow right now. I need to make the trails longer. All right. So I think that's all we're finally going to cover on this. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will include affiliate links to both Playmaker and the Oculus Touch Playmaker Toolkit integration thing in my description. So if you're going to pick up either one of those assets, please do so through the link in my description. It'll help my channel out. And also, I'll put a link in the description for a contest if you'd like to get that $15 Oculus Touch Toolkit for free. So check out that contest link in the description. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you later. We'll attempt super speed, maybe? See ya.